सर एक पहले बताओ, अगर मैं ज्यादा रील्स बनाना शुरू करूं मेरी फॉलोइंग बढ़ जाएगी?
बिल्कुल बढ़ेगी।
एल्गोरिथम से हेल्प मिलेगी?
बिल्कुल मिलेगी।
चलो सुन लो पब्लिक,
फोटोज भी डाल दे रही है।
मेटा के करता धरता ने बोला है अगर आप ज्यादा रील्स बनाओगे तो आपकी फॉलोइंग बढ़ेगी।
मैं आप फोटो
किस टाइप के बनाने चाहिए सर?
हर तरह के रील्स।
म्यूजिकल?
बिल्कुल।
म्यूजिकल।
Music is very big. Music is big, but dance is very big, and remixing or collaboration is something that's really helping.
कोलैबोरेशन बोले तो
अगर आप किसी क्रिएटर के साथ कोलैबोरेट करें,
पॉइंट नोटेड मेलॉर्ड। अब देखना रील पे रील, रील पे रील, रील पे रील। सर आपका शो इस बार जैसे होने वाला है पहले कभी नहीं हुआ होगा। My intention is to create a memorable night for our audience, our beloved audience, our beloved fraternity, celebrate excellence in films and do justice to the glorious Filmfare. The glorious Filmfare. 70 years. 20 of them with you. 20 years. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए यार। Stalwart of entertainment journalism, Mr. Jitesh Pillai, who has seen me for my first day, who has watched my baby steps in Hindi films, so kindly put me on the cover in just my debut year. Jitesh, I must tell you here today on a public platform, I don't think I've mentioned it or I appreciate you enough. When you put me on the cover in my first year, just after Band Baja Barat, I remember the tagline ever so clearly. Singh is king. Ranveer Singh takes the industry by storm. It meant a lot to me. It was a pat on the back from somebody who is very senior, and it gave me a lot of encouragement and a lot of motivation. You were 19 years old. What do you mean you saw Akshay Kumar doing two cheese badiya mat? What do you mean?
I was a rookie reporter.
And you were on the set or you saw it?
On the Filmfare stage.
On the Filmfare stage. And what have been some of your most memorable Filmfares?
Hello, this is a Q&A. I have to ask.
Sorry, okay. मेरे हाथ में माइक देना डेंजरस है जी. I can just go on. Stage दो, माइक दो, entertainment show बन जाएगा. That's all I need is a stage and a mic. दीदी आप मुझे लेके जाने के लिए आएंगे? ठीक है, कॉफी दे रही है, thank you so much. मुझे लगा आप माइक छीन लोगी. Thank you. So yes, I am all set for your questions, but I want to tell you all how excited I am to be hosting Filmfare Awards for the first time. I've performed a few times. I've won the Filmfare Award a few times, and let me tell you some of my most cherished memories of my life have been on those nights, the nights of Filmfare. You know, when I won for Bajirao Mastani Best Actor, my idol, the guy who made me want to be an actor, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, was sitting there in the first row. I don't have words to explain to you how much that meant to me. When I won for Gully Boy, I received the trophy from Madhuri Dixit. That was again a life moment for me. To have Deepika, her parents, in the audience to win Best Actor when she won Best Actress for Piku. Our family was there. They're very fondly remembered, cherished memories, emotional life moments for me and the people who I love the most. There is some magic around Filmfare. There's some magic around the Filmfare Awards, and it's inexplicable, which is why I'm ever so excited to be hosting this time. I think my personal favorite was when Shah Rukh Sir and Saif Sir hosted. It was one of the more entertaining ones. And I have my long-time partner in crime, my dearest Baba, Arjun Kapoor, who I'm going to be hosting with. So we are, the entire team actually, is putting in a whole lot of work, and hopefully we'll create entertainment extravaganza. I'm really thrilled with the lineup, sir. Some really talented artists have been cast as the performers for the show. and I'm really looking forward to being on stage and celebrating excellence in Hindi films. Excellence in Hindi films से याद आया, आपको मुझे कुछ पूछना है?
Since he's answered half my questions already, I'll still ask you.
अच्छा, I tell you, stage or mic, those are dangerous.
Okay, my first question, which you already stolen, but still I'll ask you. Tell me your childhood memories of Filmfare.
My childhood memories of Filmfare, I couldn't wait. Dekho, I've always told people of how I've always been a filmy bacha. You know, like really filmy. Watching movies on VHS, 90s baby, and we didn't have the internet or phones, or so it was the physical copy that used to come home. And the day it came, my God, I used to sit down with it and go through every page. I used to read it cover to cover multiple times. I used to cut out pictures and keep them. So I've been reading Filmfare since my childhood. It was very exciting, especially the awards issue, and especially those anniversary issues. You know, the special issues are indeed special. I'm sure you've had to do with many of them. No? So yeah, the premiere, how do you say it? The premiere film entity, I would say.
Thank you for all that fulsome praise. Tell me about your Filmfare award moments.
Filmfare award moments, I'll never forget. The first time I was performing on Band Baja Barat songs. I just made my debut. Nervous as hell. And I was performing Tarkeebe, and it was designed such that my picture was on the AV and it would reveal itself, and suddenly I would turn and boom, start performing. I remember the reveal happened, I turned around and I made the novice mistake of not peeking into the audience to just get a vibe. So when I turned around, the first person I see was Amitabh Bachchan. I was like, oh. I completely forgot all my steps, and then I caught it later. So that performance, Anushka and I were performing on Band Baja Barat. So my first ever performance, winning best debut was a huge moment for me. Validation, be on the stage of all stages, being honored for my work in my first film was immensely encouraging and motivating. I feel like if I hadn't got that validation, my journey would have been very different. I would have been a different person, my choices would have been different, but getting that validation was so important for me, so significant for me. Then winning, there were many more. Every time I performed, I remember the Ganesh Hegde was the choreographer in 1 year when we did the year of Ram Leela. And that performance was hilarious, and I continue to get feedback for that performance. People keep going into you, bye. That performance. Then of course my tribute to Mr. Aditya Chopra, my mentor, and on the same evening I won Best Actor for Bajirao Mastani. Deepika won Best Actor Female for Piku, and both our families were there. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan was present as well. My idol is sitting right there, clapping for me while I'm winning my first award. It was like, I can't explain how much that meant to me. Assam was a blast. We had a blast. We had all these satellite stages. The crowd in Assam was just, electrifying. They were just, the energy in that house that night was something else. So I have very fond memories of performing and receiving awards. Best Actor, that was what else? Bajirao Mastani. Then there was Padmavat, Gully Boy, and I think other nominations out? Not yet? Okay. Time hai. Hopefully I'll be nominated this time also. This is for 2021. Okay. सोचिएगा मेरा सर, मैंने भी फिल्मों में मैंने भी तो थोड़ा बहुत काम किया है. So yeah, I think it's the first time I'm hosting. I've danced a bunch of times. Hosting, let me tell you, between performing on stage in the capacity of a dancer is very different from host. According to me, hosting takes 10 times more work, 10 times the amount of time. So yeah, we're sitting with the writers, we're coming up with jokes, we're plotting the show very meticulously, scripting moments, but of course the overarching and paramount idea is to celebrate cinema and celebrate those who achieved a degree of excellence in Hindi cinema. And I'm very much looking forward to this year's show. I'm very enthusiastic about creating what hopefully will be considered one of the better nights. You know, my commitment to you, sir.
I also want to know on your take on biopics and especially how you morphed into Kapil Dev, sir.
मैंने जाके सीधा उनके घर पे पहुंच गया और उनके गेस्ट रूम में 2 हफ्तों के लिए ठहरा.
It was a very fulfilling process. It's very different from when you're creating a character with a blank canvas versus playing a person who people know about. So in the initial bit, I asked the ADs for all the video footage of 83 and they put a folder on my iPad and I was like, इतना ही है? They said, sir, 83 में इतना ही video था. I was like, इसमें तो होगा नहीं, it's insufficient. Now what do I do? So I went to Kabir sir and he said we should just go and hang with Kapil sir himself. And the best part for me is that at that stage in your life, you become a storyteller in a sense. You want to share your life experience. So he would generously come back from work. I would train for cricket all day. He would go to work, and in the evenings we'd meet at about 7 o'clock. And I just keep asking him, taking notes, videographing him, recording him. From like 7 in the evening, eating. All of us would sit around 7 to about 11. It was just like the Kapil Dev show, and I was just absorbing. That was a 2-week process. And when I came out of there, I feel ready.
Also, this upmarket boy, how did you end up with Gully Boy?
What do you mean upmarket boy?
Bandra
So what do you
boy,
mean?
this Bandra boy, and when you morph into something like a Gully Boy, rapping and all of that, how much effort does it take, or does it come easily to you, rapping and stuff like that?
The cool part about thank you. The cool part about where I was born and raised was actually like the border of Bandra East and Bandra West. It was like right on the border. So I had the good fortune of growing up in a place where I got the best of both worlds. Like very, in many ways it's explicated in the film Gully Boy. Ek duniya mein do duniya, ujala aur andhera. It's like Mumbai city. You know that song? कोई मुझको ये बताए क्यों ये दूरी और मजबूरी, इस दुनिया की क्या स्टोरी, किसके हाथ में इसकी डोरी, राइट में बिल्डिंग आसमानों को छू रही, लेफ्ट में बच्ची भूखी सड़कों पे सो रही, कैसी ये मजबूरी. It explicates how Mumbai is a tale, or it's almost like two worlds rolled into one. You have a glimmering skyscraper on one hand and you have adjoining to it, slums. So I was on the border of Bandra East and West where, I'd go to Bandra West to school, where I would, be engaged and interacted with hads, the more affluent kids of the suburbs. But then I'd come back home and I'd go to play cricket on the east side, and all my friends there, weren't as affluent. So I got to see, I was at a vantage point where I got the experience of both worlds. And therefore the intrinsic, essential idea of Gully Boy, which is the divide, I had an insight to that from a very, very young age.
Finally, last two questions before I let you go. You have like a fiery chemistry with your wife. On screen, are you competitors?
On screen, definitely not. I am not a competitive actor at all. I have a theatre background, and they teach you at a very early stage in your training some of the foundations of that kind of training are constituted by the ethos of collaborativeness. You know, to me, from what I've learned, not just in my training but also in the 12 years that I've been acting in films, is that you're only as good as your co-actor. You know, you will give what you get. It takes two to tango. You know, I don't subscribe to one-upmanship, upstaging, and I've had, unfortunately or fortunately, co-actor experiences where they have, tried one-upmanship and trying to upstage and hogging the limelight in the frame, as they say, and I don't subscribe to that. I think it's very defeating. It's teamwork. Filmmaking is teamwork. Scene work is a collaboration between actors. It's like jugalbandi. It's give and take, give and take. On the flip side, I have also experienced the good side. Actors who are so secure, who are so giving, and my wife is certainly one of them.
Before I let you go, I'm told you're an ace mimic. You have to mimic.
God.
You have to mimic someone for me.
I have to. You watch me on the show.
One.
The night of the show.
Either you rap or you mimic. One. Just one.
Tonight milenga.
I don't know if they'll be able to use it, because Duri is from Gully Boy is from XL has sold the rights to Z Music, which you told me not to select any songs from Z Music. एक तो ये यार अलग लेवल का धांधली है, कलर्स में अलग से म्यूजिक राइट्स लो, फेसबुक के लिए यार मैं तो क्रिएटिव आदमी नहीं ना. Rest assured, it will be song, dance, entertainment, extravaganza, bonanza. The Babas are back. And I'm really, what I'm really looking forward to is going to Arjun's house and sitting on script sessions. Those are some of my most favorite parts of preparing for the show. He is a riot. There are very few people in my life who can make me laugh the way he does. He knows everything. He's like a filmy encyclopedia. He knows everything about everything. He knows more than Jitesh Pillai about the things, the ongoings of the Hindi film industry. So he is somebody who I love immensely, and I'm really looking forward to collaborating with him. What if I imitate you, Jitesh? Would you like that? Would you like that? Okay, you tell me who you imitate, I'll imitate. Guys, I'm not such a good mimic also. Plus, I'm going home right after this. So yeah, I want to eat tonight.
I think we'll let you off. You've been very, very good.
No, give.
Alia?
Wow, what a very difficult ones you all are giving up. I can imitate Jitesh. What was that show you used to have on digital?
Famously Film.
Yeah. Welcome to Famously Filmfare. Tell me about the first time you met Deepika. Just such a nosy Parker. He wants to know everything. I have to tell you, Jitesh and Anuradha and all the youngsters in the Filmfare team, Raghuji, y'all are some of my favorite people in show business. In this journey of 12 years, I've really met such good, warm-hearted people. I appreciate you and everything that you do at Filmfare, and may you continue to shine. May all your proteges one day grow up and be as great as you. And I promise you, I'll do my best to create the biggest and best spectacle that you would have